Welcome back. This is Billy with Coach Dooley's List. And once again, if you're enjoying these coaching videos, please like and subscribe to the YouTube page and also follow along on all of our social media platforms. Today, I am here at Hillgrove High School with head volleyball coach Claire Self. And Coach, thank you for taking the time today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And just jump right in. Tell everybody about your coaching journey and how you ended up here at Hillgrove.
So I was at Woodland High School in Bartow County for a year prior to coming to Hillgrove. When I started teaching in 2010, like finding a job was slim to none. And so I was fortunate enough to get a job in Bartow. And I grew up playing basketball, soccer. And so they're like, oh, you can help with that. Okay, great, fine. I was teaching a little bit out of content. I was teaching special ed math. And so while I was there the first couple of weeks, the volleyball coach was like, hey, do you want to help with volleyball? I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And he's like, that's perfect. So I came on staff, just kept stats, whatever. And then the next summer, my roommate was doing summer school here, and they were looking for a math teacher here at Hillgrove. And so I applied, and they're like, oh, you coach volleyball. And I was like, that's a really loose term. Like, oh, that's perfect for JV. So I got hired as a math teacher here, JV volleyball coach. I also helped with basketball. I was keeping clock and book because, again, that's what I knew. After a few years as JV coach, the head coach stepped down. And so they're like, hey, you can be the head coach. And so I was really apprehensive, but I was really fortunate to have a community coach come on. He had 30-year educator. He had coached for years up in Rhode Island. And so I was super fortunate to be able to work under him. And while, yes, I was the head coach by name, like he was really teaching me so much. And so those first 3 years were really important, I think, in setting the tone for what I went through.
No, that's cool. And you know this. People who can coach, they're going to try to get you to coach as much as you can. And,
yeah.
But I love, too, that you also had people that were there to help you out, which is always important at any stage in your career. So, and coming over from Woodland, kind of growing up with volleyball, what is it now that you want your program here at Hillgrove to be known for?
I think where we're at now, we definitely want to be, and I think kind of the reputation that we have is we compete. Like, it doesn't matter, we're going to show up and we're going to compete. And I think regardless of who we're playing, we respect them, they respect us. And, it's never going to be like an easy match, so to speak. And so that's really what I want our program to kind of say across the state. Internally at Hillgrove, that looks a little bit different. We want our kids to be, good students and good humans. And I'm not sitting here trying to say all of my kids are going to go D1. That's not what I care about. I care about, are my kids going to go and be successful later on in life? What kind of skills have we taught them through teaching them how to compete, through teaching them the sport of volleyball and things like that? How is that going to help them later on in life?
I love that. And you know this, a lot of times kids take on the persona of their coaches, and I know you can be a little feisty sometimes and get after it, which I love. I'm going to make it to a match next year. I want to come watch. So in growing your program and coming to a couple different places and things like that. So you always have coaching stories that you love. So what's a coaching story that just brings a smile to your face or makes you laugh?
I don't when I saw that question, I was like, I don't really know. 'Cause I feel like there's always just weird little moments that happen. And so, this year we were playing Alatoona, and obviously I've been around for longer. I feel like I have imposter syndrome with how long I've been doing this. And so we were playing Alatoona, and the coach over there, at the beginning of my career, he had some health concerns, and to the point where they had to call because he had heart issues. And so he fell to the floor in the middle of the match. And I was like, do we need to go get the AED? And so then after the match, we're kind of laughing, and he's like, you remember that? And so I think just those relationships and seeing, those people that kind of also grow up, Alatoona has a community coach that played for them, and kind of seeing those kids and making those connections and them realizing oh, who I was. That's the part that I appreciate about volleyball. At one point in my neighborhood, there were 3 different community coaches for volleyball. My neighbor plays at Kennesaw Mountain, and she plays with some of my girls. And so I don't think that's really funny, but I do appreciate that about the volleyball community. And I do think that the way that volleyball has grown over the last decade has just been astronomical. And so building those connections and seeing that relationship and seeing the kids grow up and come back and how they're helping that community grow is really, it's really nice to see.
No, and I love that because I loved watching volleyball in college. Never really, coaching softball, I never got to watch it. But
Yeah.
now, doing the coaches polls and stuff, got to go to Lake Point, and I see a lot of the similarities too. Like you talk about, just everybody's so close because they play club ball together. They're so close, and being in the gym when you're going to tournaments, they're going to hang out with somebody. It's the same as being at a softball tournament. So no, I totally agree with that. So, if you did have any one of these community coaches, former players, anybody ever came to you and said, Coach Self, I think I want to be a head coach one day, what piece of advice would you give them?
I think just being humble enough to say, I don't know everything. I'm not going to be perfect, and that's okay. What can I learn? What can I do better? Because I think that this idea that when you become a head coach, you're going to be perfect and everything's going to be like you're the head coach, you know everything. I make no expectation that I'm perfect and that I can't learn. And so I would just say, if you're going to be a head coach, go in it with the mindset of like, what can I learn? What can I do better? How can I grow? Not, I'm supposed to know everything. Because I think if you go into it, I'm supposed to know everything, then that shuts you off from the growth that you can have.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I didn't tell you about this, but I like this. This is the fun part. So a little rapid fire. You don't have to give any context.
I would just like to,
answers.
You didn't ask Coach Richardson these things. So
I didn't get the, how do you know?
I've already talked with him.
I know, and I didn't. I was running out of time. I didn't do the rapid fire.
I just told him he wasn't funny. That's why you didn't.
No, these weren't funny ones. Listen, I'm gonna have to cut this part out. No, I will go back and I will get his rapid fire. So I gotta get people back to class. All right, now I'm giving you extra questions.
Okay.
All right, somebody's coming to town to play Hillgrove. They say, Coach, where's the best place to go eat? Where do you send them? Or you got a date night? Where are you going?
Date night? What's that?
Well, the season's on. You got banquet tonight, so
I know. I have a 5-year-old though. Like,
not Chuck E. Cheese, but before.
I mean, I really like Henry's is in Ackworth, and so I feel like that's always like a good because it's like I think Louisiana Cajun kind of food.
Okay.
And that's like we got married like downtown, and like Henry is like very much a downtown Ackworth like spokesperson. Like you have to know who that is. So
perfect.
Henry's.
I'll hit up Henry's. So if you had a pregame hype song, what are you listening to?
Me? I don't know what I mean.
Or it could even go back to your playing days. Did you have something you used to listen to on the Walkman back then?
I don't think that's appropriate though.
I mean, as long as you're not saying the words.
Yeah.
We'll skip. We get all right. What's let's see. Who is the best coach you've ever coached against? Or just or one that just you just love competing against. You're going to get their best all the time.
I mean, I absolutely love coaching against currently Erica at Pope. Like, I think she's such a competitor, but she, again, comes at it from the perspective of, like, what can I do better? What can I learn? And I feel like she's very pro everybody growing and everyone getting better. Before, like, I loved competing against Suzanne at Walton. She's in charge of TK Club now. She's retired from education. But again, both of them, I feel like they are really invested in the growth of volleyball as a whole, not just what can I do to build my resume.
Right. That's awesome. What's your pre-match ritual now?
It kind of shifted. Are you talking about for the kids or for me personally?
For you.
Oh, for me personally. The kids make fun of my scouting reports, but I watch film relentlessly and I make a scouting report. And so do all of that, and then I make sure that their scouting report's ready for them, make sure pregame's ready, and then have my energy drink so that I can survive.
I love it. I love watching film. Who's the best player you've ever coached against?
Against?
Or anybody just stands out?
I mean,
just couldn't stop.
Gabby Gonzalez was a force to be reckoned with. She was part of that Walton group that like went undefeated, I think, their whole high school career.
Oh wow.
Like Emery Dupes from Walton as well. She was on the team that eliminated us, Sweet 16. they were both great players. Those were two of like the biggest competitors, I think.
All right. So last thing I always ask, big idea behind the interviews is trying to let people know we actually do have a website that's meant to help coaches. And so the big idea with the website is to just hook coaches up with vendors that are trusted. Doesn't mean they're always perfect, but just coaches enjoy working with. So who's a vendor that you've just loved to work with that you would shout out to another coach?
I think we're kind of in a unique situation at Hillgrove. We have Tracy Washington with TNT. She does, I would say, 90% of my stuff, just like t-shirts, spandex, stuff like that. And then we use BSN for like uniforms. But honestly, outside of that, I actually do a lot of the stuff like designing it in Canva and then using my Cricut or whatever. So, that's pretty much where our stuff comes from.
Do I need to add you to the website?
Please do not.
Got all the business you can.
Again, my volleyball program and then my 5-year-old keep me busy enough. Like I don't think that I need to add anything else to my plate. My husband might actually lose his mind.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, well, Coach, listen, I know you got a banquet tonight. I appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.